Like and subscribe now, or you're gonna have bad luck this week.
It's pretty easy to get bored these days. We usually think we've seen everything because of the internet, but that's far from the truth. The world really is full of surprises. From a goldfish driving car to the only time the Niagara Falls froze and came to a halt, get ready to be surprised as we show you the 10 craziest things that you'll witness for the first time. Number 10. Fish driver. Fish may not need bicycles, but they seem to like cars. A supremely weird new video shows a goldfish driving a water-filled motorized car from one end of the room to another, bobbing and weaving to avoid obstacles along the way. Scientists performed the odd experiment to better understand how goldfish navigate terrestrial environments. In the wild, goldfish and many other species must navigate to find food or shelter for survival, but it is not always clear how these animals learn to navigate a space, and for fish, whether the brain networks that allow them to navigate a coral reef would be of any use on land. What better way to explore animal navigation in a foreign environment than to literally take a fish out of the water, right? Getting goldfish to drive such cars is surprisingly not new. In 2014, a group called Studio Deeb developed a similar goldfish mobile, but at the time, it was more of a software demonstration than an exploration of fundamental animal behaviors. Number 9. The Tongue Drive System. The Tongue Drive System, or TDS, is a wireless and wearable assistive technology. It is designed to allow individuals with severe motor impairment to access their environment using voluntary tongue motion. In other words, it allows people who otherwise wouldn't be able to drive an electric wheelchair and even use a computer to do these things by using only their tongues. The machine itself is put in the user's mouth and comes in 2 parts. Some kind of control pad that is attached to the roof of the mouth and acting as a stylus of some sort, as well as a tongue barbell attached to, well, where else? The tongue. It looks pretty uncomfortable, but it's apparently easy to use and get used to. Number 8. Colored honey. Beekeepers in northern France got the shock of a lifetime after bees from their hives began producing honey in shades of blue and green. It looks pretty cool, but the colored honey could not be sold because it did not meet France's standards of honey production. It was not obtained from the nectar of plants, and it deviates from the standard coloring of honey. That was bad news for a region that produces 1,000 tons of honey a year and already had it to cope with a high bee mortality rate and low honey production after a harsh winter. An investigation by beekeepers in the town of Ribouville uncovered the cause of the problem. Instead of collecting nectar from flowers, local bees were feeding on remnants of colored M&M candy shells, which were being processed by a biogas plant roughly 2.5 miles, 4 kilometers away. The waste processing plant discovered the problem at the same time as the beekeepers did and quickly cleaned any outdoor or uncovered containers that M&M waste was stored in. Colored honey made of M&Ms, and I thought I had seen it all. Number 7. Car vending machine. You must think we're kidding. A car vending machine? What is this, 2100? Well, no. It's still 2022, and thanks to Carvana, vending machines aren't just for chips, soda, and snacks anymore. You can also buy a vehicle from them. Carvana is an online used car retailer where you can shop for quality used cars. You can have the car delivered to your house or head to the nearest vending machine to pick it up. The car vending machine is meant to be a unique experience. Carvana aims to make car buying a bit more fun, especially because ordering your car online may not seem as eventful as looking at a dealership. When you pick up the car, you will get a token. Insert the token into the vending machine coin slot. The car lever will retrieve your car from the building. Sign and drive off with your car. You'll get 7 days to determine if you want to keep or return it. There are at least 27 of these machines in different states in the US, so book yours now. Number 6. Spider invasion. If you suffer from arachnophobia, you might want to close your eyes for this one, but if you are brave enough, join us on this epic journey through a Greek town. It's gonna sound like something out of a horror movie. Are you ready? We are talking about a town covered in thousands of webs, each crawling with hordes of spiders. Spooked yet? This happened in the Greek town of Aetoliko, a town of canals that's otherwise known as Greece's Little Venice, in 2018. people noticed the whole town was covered in a spider web. Trees, plants, boats, roadside benches, and even buildings, you name it. The enormous web stretched for around 300 meters. Imagine having to live in such a town. Yikes! I can already feel something creeping on my skin. Anyway, on to the next one. Number 5. The Cult of Mickey. Now, here is something that is the stuff of nightmares. Imagine walking into a dark theater, then suddenly somebody turns on the lights, and all of a sudden you're surrounded by hundreds of creepy children, all of them wearing Mickey Mouse masks. You might think you just walked into a ritual of some obscure Mickey Mouse cult, trying to praise their god Mickey. Sadly, this photo was nothing more than a meeting of the Mickey Mouse Club members taken during the 1930s. Many people thought that the Mickey Mouse Club was only a TV show which started in 1955, me included. However, it's actually been around way before that. Before the show aired in 1955, the Mickey Mouse Club already existed as a real club in the 1930s. The first Mickey Mouse Club show was conducted at the Fox Dome Theater in Ocean Park, California on July 11, 1930. In order to watch the show, people would have to become a member of the club and wear that ridiculous mask. Would you want to be a part of this cult? Number 4. Forest caught breathing. Next, we have the weirdest video ever. It is so unusual that most people think it's CGI, but no, it's not special effects. This clip really does capture a section of the forest in Quebec heaving to and fro, looking like it's a living, breathing, sentient woodland. But no, there's neither any mysterious magic at work here, nor any giant from Pokemon asleep under those rocks. Instead, it's due to the weather conditions in that area. It's actually an understandable meteorological phenomenon in which the elements have come together just right to create this unusual scene, which was captured and shared around online in a video that went viral earlier this week. When you look at the trees in the background, it's clear that the winds are very strong. The forest floor seems to be moss covered, which leaves a lot of the root system of younger trees loose. As the wind sways the trees, you get the roots lifting the floor. This gives the appearance of breathing. Nature can really be breathtaking. Pun intended. Number 3. Rainbow tree. Yeah, I know, that sounds bizarre, and believe me, this is as weird as nature can get. Found mainly in Hawaii, the Philippines, Indonesia, and Papua New Guinea, Eucalyptus deglupta trees, otherwise known as rainbow eucalyptus trees, are one of nature's most beautiful natural wonders. No, your eyes aren't playing tricks on you, these trees really are the color of the rainbow. But like every other thing, there is a process behind it. The bark of the Eucalyptus deglupta trees peels off throughout the year, creating a rainbow-like effect as it reveals the fresh, bright green bark below. The peeling bark strips off at different times and continues to do so for the life of the tree. This curious phenomenon never leaves the same pattern twice, so your rainbow is a living work of ever-changing craft. Whoever said nature is the purest form of art, this is what they meant by it. Probably. Does this remind you of Alice in Wonderland? Number 2. Spider Silk Goat. The original title for this was going to be Spider Goat, which would have made it a lot scarier. But no, this isn't what you think. While this is a goat with a spider's DNA in it, it isn't a giant web-building spider goat with 8 legs and 15 eyes and looks like a demonic entity out of your worst nightmares. Sadly, the spider goat looks pretty normal on the outside, but on the inside, well, even on the inside, it looks pretty much like a normal goat. What is spider-like about it is the milk, which is actually pretty rich in spider silk protein that could be easily separated and spun to produce large quantities of spider silk. Why spider silk? For one thing, spider silk has one of the highest tensile strengths of all things, and it can be used to produce superior bandages, bulletproof armor, and other things that require both lightness and extreme strength. But it still looks like a boring goat on the outside. Number 1. Frozen Niagara Falls. Can Niagara Falls completely freeze? Can the flow of the mighty Niagara River come to a total halt in winters? Many people, especially those who have seen these majestic falls, ask these questions. In short, yes, the falls do freeze, but mostly partially. There has been only one instance when the falls came to a complete halt. That too in March of 1848. At that time, only American Falls was frozen, almost to a trickle. The other 2 parts of Niagara Falls were running as usual. People were able to walk over the ice and collect souvenirs from the riverbed at unfrozen puddles. This occurred because of the formation of more ice than normal at Lake Erie. Which of these entries did you find the most fascinating? Let us know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.